I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Good afternoon,
indivisible,
and welcome to Dickson Mounds Museum for an extraordinary event, the 150th anniversary of a speech given here in Lewistown by Abraham Lincoln. I'm Michael Wyant, and I have the privilege of being the director of the museum, but I can tell you that the small print didn't have a day like this in it.
Today to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's speech in Lewistown, but that's only a small part of the story. By the time Lincoln had spoken here, he already knew Lewistown, and Lewistown knew him pretty well. He had practiced law here, visited and spent the night here, and he'd already created memories and stories that have endured essentially.
Today I have but one small request. I ask you to suspend your sense of time and space and journey back in time 150 years ago to the summer of 1858. As reported by the Fulton Democrat, and I quote, Monday, the 16th of August, 1858, was a day long to be remembered in the annals of the old democracy of Fulton. It was a day that will be referred to in future time as one upon which the masses of the people in almost unnumbered throngs assembled together by one common...
Although Mr. Lincoln and I have different political views, he's been a longtime friend of the Ross family. My Lewiston law partner, David Rutledge, is the brother of Lincoln's one-time sweetheart, Anne Rutledge. But it was my brother Harvey Lee that knew him best.
When I was 15, I used to carry the mail. I used to carry the mail from Springfield to Monmouth, one time even to a pack of wolves. That was when I became well acquainted with Mr. Lincoln. When I was 19, I went to Illinois College at Jacksonville. When it came to storytelling, my roommate, there wasn't a single person I can remember that was ever his equal. He could perfectly mimic the Dutchman, the Irishman, a Negro, and he seemed to take such delight in the laughter that would ensue. Why, down in Havana, when court was adjourned, back then court was held at our father's hotel. Men would say that after having heard Lincoln's, just one story of Lincoln's, they practically shook their ribs loose with laughter. Still others said that having gone on 2 or 3 evenings to hear Lincoln's stories, and having heard them, they nearly, they cured all their ailments. All their ailments were cured from the sheer laughter of it. And they gave Lincoln the credit for being a great healer.
Returned to Illinois, and soon there
Friends,
died in Peoria.
Citizens, fellow Republicans, and you curious Democrats.
We got a couple of them here, Gus.
Come close to hear our response to the comments made here yesterday by Stephen A. Douglas. It's my great pleasure this afternoon to present to you our candidate for United States Senator, the Honorable Abraham Lincoln.
If slavery had been a good thing, would the fathers of the Republic have taken a step calculated to diminish its beneficent influences among themselves and snatch the boon wholly from their posterity? These truths to be these communities, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Gentlemen, to all his creatures, to the whole great family of man, in their enlightened belief, nothing stamped with the divine image and likeness, was sent into the world to be trodden on and degraded and imbruted by its fellows. Wise statesmen as they were, they knew the tendency of prosperity to breed tyrants. And so they established these great self-evident truths that when in the distant future some man, some faction, some interest should set up a doctrine that none but white men were entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, their posterity might look back at the Declaration of Independence and take courage to renew the battle which their fathers began, so that truth and justice and mercy and all the humane and Christian virtues might not be extinguished from the land. Waters spring close by the blood of the revolution. Think nothing of me. Take no thought for the political fate of any man whomsoever. But come back to the truths that are in the Declaration of Independence. You may do anything with me you choose, if you will but heed these sacred principles. You may not only defeat me in the Senate, but you may take me and put me to death. Do not while destroy that immortal emblem of humanity, the Declaration of American Independence. Thank you.
I have been a friend of Mr. Lincoln since 1838, when we served 2 sessions together in the Illinois legislature. You may recall that as when the capital of Illinois was moved from Vandalia to Springfield. I last heard Mr. Lincoln give a formal speech in that legislature. Now, I must tell you, before I came to Illinois, I heard the great Virginia spokesman, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and John Randolph of Roanoke. I heard Henry Clay in 32, but none of them commanded my attention as did my friend, Mr. Lincoln, today.
For this political office. Later, my friend, Miss Sarah Beers, had an opportunity to attend Mr. Lincoln's address at Jonesboro. Well, when Mr. Lincoln stood up to speak, she said, "Did you ever see such an ugly man?" Well, let me tell you also that by the end of that speech, she was of a completely different mind, as were the other people in that audience. And she then said, "Did you ever see such a lovely man?"
1858, gray skies threatened to spoil the festive mood of the town, but the speech went on. That was Lincoln's last public appearance in Fulton County. Soon after, he was defeated by Stephen Douglas in his bid for the United States Senate. But before long, he was nominated by the Republican Party for the President of the United States. We come here today to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's Lewistown speech. But we also come to honor his memory as a friend, lawyer, politician, statesman, and as the president who led our great nation through the most difficult time, the Civil War.